Welcome to my channel. Today I bring you the third episode of the Squid Game series. So let's get to today's story. Squid Game, The Man with the Umbrella. A retelling. The moment Gi-hun's eyes opened, he knew he was back in the game. The same sterile dormitory, the same sea of exhausted players dressed in green, and above them, the enormous glass piggy bank filled with even more cash. There was no turning back now. An infiltrator among them. Elsewhere in the facility, Detective Jun-ho stood motionless, struggling to keep his breathing steady beneath the square masked helmet he had stolen. By following the black vans and taking the uniform of one of the workers, he had successfully infiltrated the operation. Now he had a chance to find his missing brother. Inside the workers' barracks, he observed the structure of the organization. The red jumpsuits weren't all equal. Circles were the lowest rank, simple laborers, triangles were armed enforcers, and squares held authority. Any misstep could expose him. He had to be careful. The next game. A mechanical voice echoed through the dormitory. "Players, please proceed to the game arena." The contestants shuffled forward, anxiety heavy in the air. They entered a surreal, pastel-colored playground filled with oversized jungle gym equipment and towering walls. A large board in front displayed 4 symbols: a circle, a triangle, a star, and an umbrella. "Choose a shape," a masked worker ordered. The players hesitated, uncertain of what they were picking. Gi-hun looked to his friend Sang-woo, who stood deep in thought. Something about the way he stared at the board suggested he might know what was coming. But before Gi-hun could ask, Sang-woo quickly chose the triangle. Gi-hun, unsure, picked the umbrella. Others scattered to different shapes. The moment the masked workers handed out the metal tins, the realization hit. Inside each tin lay a delicate piece of dalgona candy, a brittle honeycomb sweet with the chosen shape imprinted in the center. The goal was simple: cut out the shape without breaking it. Gi-hun's stomach dropped. He had chosen the most difficult shape, a deadly challenge. A buzzer rang, and the game began. The playground filled with the soft scratching of needles against fragile candy. Every player worked carefully, trying not to crack the thin sugar. Then, snap! A gunshot followed immediately. The first elimination sent a shockwave through the players. Someone gasped, hands shaking as they fumbled with their own candy. Crack! Another shot. Panic spread. Players rushed, made mistakes, and were executed one by one. Sang-woo, who had suspected the challenge beforehand, took a deep breath and carefully chipped away at his triangle. One of the easier shapes. Saibyok, with her star, struggled but remained calm. But Gi-hun's umbrella was almost impossible. His needle barely made a dent. His hands were slick with sweat. Time was running out. Then a thought hit him. He licked the back of the candy. The sugar began to melt slightly. His eyes widened. This could work. Desperately, he licked again and again, softening the edges with his tongue. The more he licked, the more the umbrella shape became clear. A few players noticed and copied him. The guards didn't intervene. There was no rule against using saliva. The final seconds ticked down. Gi-hun delicately lifted his umbrella shape from the tin, his hands trembling. The moment he did, the timer hit 0. He had survived. Secrets behind the masks. Meanwhile, Jun-ho, still disguised as a worker, observed the chaos from the sidelines. He noticed something strange. While most guards remained cold and mechanical, a few exchanged quick, nervous glances. Later that night, he followed one of them into a restricted area and discovered something horrifying. A group of masked men were secretly removing organs from the corpses of eliminated players and smuggling them out of the facility. Jun-ho's pulse quickened. This wasn't just a twisted game, it was an entire underground operation. Then a voice behind him. "Who are you?" He turned to see a square-masked worker staring him down. A new threat emerges. Back in the dormitory, the surviving players exhaled in relief. But the game had changed them. They had seen how easily people could die. And one person in particular had realized something else. There were no rules outside the games. That night, when the lights went out, Deoksu, the gangster, made his move. The first scream echoed in the darkness. The real fight for survival had only just begun. The third episode ends here, so we will bring you the fourth episode soon. Have a good day and see you in the next video.